Chapter 4, Victory at Sea. The Blue Army was rather quiet by the time everyone got back to the boathouse. Here we are, sighed one girl, right back where we started. Molly looked down at the downhearted girls. No one knew what to do. Where's Dorinda? Molly asked. A girl named Marie spoke up. Dorinda wasn't in the same prison with the rest of us. She was in a special captain's prison. She didn't see you. I guess she's still on the island. Serves her right, someone muttered. What do we do now? Asked a tall girl named Shirley. Should we give up? No, said Molly. We can win the war without Dorinda. But who will be our leader? Asked Marie. I think it should be Molly, said Susan loyally. She thought of the plan to free all of you. I didn't like it, but it worked. She can think up another plan to capture the flag and win the whole color war. Can't you, Molly? Yes, said Marie. You'll be our captain, Molly. Molly felt a little tickle of pride, but quickly she felt something else too. What if our army is captured again? Everyone will blame me. I will be the one who lost the war, she thought. I wonder if this is the way real leaders feel. I bet they felt this way before D-Day invasion. Molly thought about the newsreel she had seen of the D-Day invasion. The soldiers spilled out of the boats, ran across the beach, scrambled up the rocky cliffs along the shore. Well, Susan was asking her, do you have a plan? I was just thinking, said Molly slowly. Our color war is sort of like the real war. We have to do what the Allies did on D-Day. Molly began to talk faster as she got excited. The enemy, the Red Army, knows we're going to try to land and invade their territory, just like the Nazis knew the Allies were going to land and invade France. The only thing they didn't know was exactly when and exactly where the Allies would land. Oh, for heaven's sake, said Shirley. In our war, the when is this afternoon. In our war, the when is this afternoon and the where is the beach. There's no other time or place. We can't land on the beach again, said Molly, thinking out loud. That's a mistake we made last time. The Red Army will be waiting for us there. We have to land someplace where they don't expect us. Like where? Shirley asked. Molly had an idea. She stepped over the sitting girls and went to the map. Susan and I found a place when we went to the island before, she said. It's right here. Molly pointed to the map. She put her finger on the narrow landing place on Chocolate Drop Island. It's a good place to land because the Red Scout can't see it. It's hidden by rocky land on one side and trees on the other. Molly read the name off the map. It's called Poison Point. But Molly, Susan piped up, it's an awfully skinny place. Only one canoe can fit in it at a time. That's no good then, said Shirley. We can't unload one canoe, then back it out, then unload the next. It would take too long. And how will we keep the empty canoes from floating away? We need a long beach or a long dock. Maybe we could build a dock on the island, said Marie. That's silly, said Shirley. No, it isn't, said Molly. She thought of the D-Day newsreels again. We could build a floating dock. That's what the Allies did when they landed in France. Everyone looked blank. Don't you remember the newsreels we saw of D-Day? Molly asked. The Allies built a long dock from the deep water all the way to the shore. Remember? They built it out of barges and boats. They could drive trucks off their big ships and onto their dock, and then all the way to land. I don't get it, said Susan. We don't have any barges or anything. What can we use to build a dock? Canoes, said Molly. We'll use our canoes. We'll land one canoe at Poison Point, then we'll tie another canoe onto it. We'll tie all the canoes to one another, end to end, in a long row. We can use our Camp Gowonagin ties. Then we'll walk from canoe to canoe onto the island. The girls murmured among themselves. That's crazy, someone said. Yes, but it might work, said Molly. I think we should try it, said Marie. All right then, Molly said. Let's go. Susan was taking one last look at the map. How come that place is called Poison Point? She asked. Are the rocks poison or something? But no one was there to answer Susan's question. Everyone was climbing back into the canoes. Okay, shouted Molly. I'll give each canoe a number. That will be your place in line. Susan will be in the first canoe and I will be in the last one. Molly pointed to each canoe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ready? Head out! The Blue Army canoes followed Susan's canoe across the lake. Molly noticed Susan seemed to be paddling much straighter. Her canoe was a little wobbly, but didn't zig and zag as much as it used to. When they got close to the island, Molly saw the Red Scout watching them. The scout turned and ran back toward the beach. Good, thought Molly. They think we're silly enough to land on the beach again. The Red Army will be there waiting for us. They won't expect us to sneak up on them from behind. Susan slipped her canoe into the landing place at Poison Point. Canoe number 2 pulled up behind her canoe, and Susan tied them together. In no time, all 10 canoes were tied end to end. The girls kept low as they crawled from canoe to canoe onto the island. Canoe number 4 almost turned over, but luckily no one was in it at the time. Molly was the last one to cross the rickety canoe dock onto the land. Okay, she said to the girls gathered on the point. Everyone from the first 5 canoes, go around to the beach. You'll have to swim a little because there's an inlet just before you get to the prison, but you'll be able to sneak up on the Reds from behind the prison. Bring your Red Army prisoners back to camp in their own canoes. Everyone else will come up the hill with me to capture the flag. Let's go! The girls kept low as they crawled from canoe to canoe onto the island. No one moved. What's the matter? Asked Molly, exasperated. We found out why it's called Poison Point, said Susan. This whole place is covered with poison ivy. No one wants to crawl through it. Molly was determined. We can't quit now, she said. We have to. Gowonagin, go on again and try. The girls looked at each other uncomfortably. Molly marched up and sat down smack in the middle of the poison ivy. She said, you can win, go on again and try. The girls giggled. Then Susan climbed up toward Molly. One by one, every girl in the Blue Army followed her. The girls climbed over the rocks carefully, trying to avoid the poison ivy leaves. One group headed toward the beach. The other group followed Molly up Chocolate Drop Hill. At the top of the hill, Molly saw 6 Red Army girls guarding the flag. They were sitting in the sun eating their lunches, so they did not see Molly and the Blue Army sneaking up on them. 1, 2, 3, whispered Molly. She and her group fanned out, 2 Blue Army girls tagging each of the Red Guards. Molly rushed to the very top of the hill. She pulled the flag out of the ground and waved it over her head. Hooray! The Blue Army girls cheered, jumping up and down and hugging one another. The Red Guards were too stunned to do anything. Molly led everyone in a happy race back down the hills to the canoes. No one seemed to worry about poison ivy on the way down. As Molly's group got back to Poison Point, the rest of the Blue Army came paddling around the island in the red canoes they captured. In each canoe, there was 1 Blue Army girl and 2 Red Army prisoners. When the Blue Army girls saw Molly and the flag, they cheered, Yahoo! We win! Hooray, Blue Army! Hooray, Molly! Hooray! Hooray! Molly looked for Linda, but she couldn't find her in the crowd. She did see Dorinda, who was the only Blue Army girl who was not cheering. Molly sat in the middle of the canoe, holding the flag above her head. Across the lake they went. The canoes followed a glittering path made by the afternoon sun. Molly listened to the girls singing, raise a flag high, never say die, while the red, white, and blue flies above. Their voices were full of happiness. Molly was happy too. The color war was over.